The Secrets of the Pyramids Revealed, Orgone Accumulators Scalar Generators. A special book by VILIM KANJSKI HRVOJE ZUJIČ. Download from Key. Just surfing the net around and late one day I came across this very curious book that puts together almost everything I thought the pyramids were for just in one book. If it's something missing, there is just the qualitative part that is well explained by biogeometry point of view, and we got together a very complete picture of what could be done with these structures. This book has a very good approach from the quantitative point of view, full of detailed experiments and data. They connected a lots of dots from various scientific researchers that were on the borderlands of science that have been censored and ridiculed in the public view due to the importance of their findings. From scalar technology of Tesla, orgonomy, and even structured water and many other good stuffs. I recommend this book for starters to get a broad picture of what the pyramids are for, along with the book of Ibrahim Karim, Back to the Future for Mankind, Biogeometry, to get even a bigger picture with a touch of qualitative scientific point of view added of how this marvelous technology works. This is a very interesting listing of properties of pyramids found on this book. I also add to this that they did experiments without correcting their pyramids with the indentations, so they could get many other weird properties if they just had that simple correction. It mainly takes away the mummifying properties and leave all the good stuff for us, and the corrected pyramid doesn't need to be oriented to magnetic north in order to work. But it seems that they are more powerful when you stack the correction plus the alignment of magnetic north. But first I will give a small intro of how to correct them, since it's very simple. Excerpt taken from this biogeometry web that has been taken down. I had to use Wayback Machine to get this one from the top of my mind, or it would be lost. Source: check under section tips item 4. A pyramid on your head, according to Ibrahim Karim. Does the indentation cancel the harmful vertical negative green, the component that dehydrates? If you use little pyramids for meditation or any type of thing, it is very dangerous, because with time you take both aspects of negative green from the bottom of the pyramid. So what do you do if you have bought all those small pyramids in your house, on your heads? It is very simple. You take a pin and in the middle of every side you draw a small vertical line. Even on the pyramids that are composed of tubes, you make a vertical line on the center of the tube at the base. This way you are getting the spirituality out of the pyramid and not just negative green. There are other ways of correcting them. I need to test those out later to make the claims, like making a vertical base under it, and bend angles at the bottom like some pyramids in Egypt, but the simplest is the one described above. This also make good cheap structures for correcting the harmful earth radiations from the ground. If you know how to find them, you just place the corrected pyramids over the lines to correct that particular line, or in the crossings to correct all the lines that cross there, and that puts BG3, spiritual energy, on them. Keep in mind that these lines tend to move around from time to time, so it's good to keep an eye on them, especially the ones under your bed, food storage and workplace. Also note that the corrected lines tend to move less than the ones without any correction. Some mention of the properties of the pyramids according to this book. Chapter 9, Harmony of Heaven and Earth. The experiments conducted inside the pyramids indicate the following: the pyramids collect and direct the energy of space, free energy. The pyramids also work as energy generators. Pyramids intensify crystallization, they increase dehydration up to 60% and perform mummification. They prevent mildew and putrefaction. Food and drink becomes tastier. Razor blades sharpen themselves. Water evaporates 15% faster in a pyramid. Using water from a pyramid for washing the skin makes the skin soft and flexible. Water from a pyramid tastes better than common water. An avocado fruit watered with water from a pyramid grew roots after 4 weeks, and grew into a 20 cm tree after another 15 days, while the other avocado fruit, which was watered with common water, did not grow any roots even after a few months. Plants watered with water from a pyramid grow faster and they are more fertile, flowers have more blossoms and less diseases. In the book Magnetizing Water Systems published in Moscow in 1982, it is mentioned that water, which was flowing through a magnetic field at right angles to force lines, had properties that were reminiscent of water kept in a pyramid. This realization supports the claim that permanent magnets have their own Orgone field, and answers the question about what is flowing through magnetic force lines. French researcher M. Violet made 1 liter of chemically pure water by burning hydrogen in oxygen atmosphere. Into this water, he immersed a tadpole young of a frog, which momentarily became motionless and immediately died. He poured that water into a closed container, sealed it and left it on his balcony for a week, exposed to the influence of the sun and the stars. After that, he immersed another tadpole into the water, which normally lived inside it and normally developed. Chemically pure water is dead water. If this water is exposed to the sun's radiation for some time, by which it is nourished, or if it is stored in a pyramid for a while, it becomes living water that supports life. If living water is heated to a temperature exceeding 60 degrees Celsius, or if it is brought into a prolonged contact with a metal, it becomes dead water. Pyramids make the water more vital, and more valuable in an energetic sense, for all living organisms. Experiments with planted plants stored in pyramids demonstrate an accelerated growth and quicker ripening. The same result is achieved by watering them with water from a pyramid. The growth of trees, plants and grain on the Earth's surface is connected to star cycles and sun cycles, which has been researched by the famous astronomer William Herschel, who claimed that everything grows better during maximum solar activity. Dr. Harold Saxton Burr determined that crops fail, accounting for years of famine, during solar activity known as sunspots. A sunflower in a pyramid has a semicircular motion, and it bends towards the floor of the pyramid in regular cycles of 2 hours each. When an aluminium curtain is placed inside a pyramid, only the part of the plant that is higher than this aluminium curtain is moving. When a powerful permanent magnet is placed into a pyramid, plants stop moving in most cases. Gold foil placed in a pyramid attracts the plants, which lean towards the foil, eventually entangling it completely. All plants perceive the energy of the pyramid and, when they are outside the pyramid, they lean towards the pyramid during their growth process. An experiment was made with a climbing plant, which has the ability to find each favorable protrusion in the wall, or a nail driven into a wall, and tie itself to these objects with its flexible outgrowths. The climbing plants were placed into a chamber, and a nail was driven into a wall close to the plant. To the east, a small pyramid was placed, with a height of only 3 centimeters. The plant neglected the nail and turned toward the pyramid, completely entangling it after only a few hours. Regardless of how many nails were driven into walls next to the plants would always turn toward the pyramid and entangle it, as the energy of the pyramid was the most attractive one as far as plants were concerned. Through measurements, it was determined that the brain waves of a person sleeping inside a wooden pyramid are completely different from the brain waves of those who slept outside the pyramid. An experiment with a golden Syrian hamster, who had a small pyramid inside its cage, demonstrated that the hamster always built his nest next to the pyramid, and the hamster has also done this after the pyramid was removed from the cage, dragging the nest toward the place where the pyramid used to be, as if some kind of energy footprint was still present. Galen Hieronymus, the designer of a scalar wave production device, was cultivating plants in a completely darkened room, with no sunlight whatsoever. One of the plants, which had a metal plate placed above itself, and the metal plate was connected with a metal wire to another metal plate at the roof of the house, was growing in a normal fashion, as if it was growing outside the house, although it had no access to sunlight. All the other plants died. Hieronymus believed that the biophoton quantums of the Orgone energy of life, which came from the roof of the house into the dark cellar through a metal conductor, enabled the plant to live, and it survived without any visible sunlight, but with the help of this biophoton emission. An experiment with a chili pepper has shown the following: a chili pepper placed into a pyramid along the north-south axis over a period of 20 days remains green and dry. A chili pepper placed into a pyramid along the east-west axis over the same period of time gains a red color and ripens. When we bend the chili pepper at a right angle, with one end along the north-south axis and the other along the east-west axis, the end which has north-south direction remains green, while the east-west end becomes ripe and red. It was experimentally proven that the effects we shall obtain in pyramids will depend on the size of the pyramids and the materials used in their construction, but we shall have no effects whatsoever if we build the pyramid from aluminium or a mirror. An experiment with a glass of water containing decaying fish has shown that the water completely cleared and cleaned itself after 20 days in a pyramid, and the decaying fish settled at the bottom. The water had no smell and it could have been used for drinking. As you can see, this book worth reading, full of all sorts of golden nuggets, the product of long years of research of the writers. You can always verify all by your own experiments to check all the claims,